Hi there, it's Wade McMaster here from CreatorImpact.com. In today's video, I'm going to show you how you can actually cut out an object or a person using the pen tool in Photoshop. Now, the idea is we go through and I'll show you how to save a PNG that you can use on your website, or even alternatively, we can take that object, which is going to be this person here, and pop them on a new background, such as this one. So the way it works, it's pretty simple. First of all, we've got everything open. We've got our layers palette on the right. If you don't have your layers palette open, head up to Window and click on Layers there. What I'm going to do, I'm going to double click on this background layer to sort of remove it from the background. So when I cut out this guy, he's going to have a transparency. So I double click and we're going to get a little pop up like this. I hit OK. And now we're pretty much good to go. So I tend to just pick a random spot to start. I try to usually pick a corner because with the pen tool, I like being able to sort of start from a point that's going to be end. Instead of trying to end in a nice smooth line, I like to try and start. So I'm going to start in this little corner of the neck here. So I'm basically going to get my little magnifying glass. I'm going to zoom in. And what I'm doing to move around while I do this, I'm going to hold down the space bar just to move and drag the image around. And also I can zoom in and out with my mouse wheel, but there's two different ways of doing it. You might have mouse wheel option on and ready to go. I actually don't, so I hold down Alt with my mouse wheel to zoom in and out. So we're going to start, we're going to grab the pen tool over here, which is this tool right here, pen tool, and I'm going to zoom back in. I'm going to click to create a point. And the way this works is if I now click and hold, I get these handles that sort of pop out and give me this curve. So I'm actually going to come up, I'm going to try and get the curve to sort of follow the base of the neck, let go, and I'm going to hold down space to go upwards, and then just sort of come around that way. So you can see the curve there. The one thing to remember is the curve will continue on that trajectory afterwards. So if you go a little too far with it, so I go to here, and I get a really big curve, but I want to turn in over here. You can see we get this little loop. So it's something to be aware of. The good news is if you do something like that and it's not what you want, you can go over to your history panel and just step back. Once again, head to Window and History if you don't have that open. So I'm going to keep going from here. I'm going to be clicking, and I'm just going to be, when I get to the more detailed areas, going sort of more straight. I'm not going to be worried about trying to get the hair perfect because I will show you a quick way to sort that out later. But I'm just going to sort of loop over these little bits of hair. So the idea, what I'm doing here is I'm holding to create a curve and then clicking. And then clicking and holding to create a curve and clicking. So I'm trying to get the peak of the curve. You can see in the hair here, I'm trying to hold that there to get my curve and then release. And that's basically how I'm clicking through and getting these little bits, these little curved bits. Now, what's really cool about this tool also is that you can do straight lines quite easily. So if I want to head straight down here, I'm just going to create a straight line. I've just clicked there. I just simply click again, straight line. I can even just do the whole thing in straight lines if I want to, but it's not going to look as good. But we'll continue on from there. Once again, click, create that curve, hold down space, and just sort of slowly work around. Now this looks a lot easier than it probably is. Once you get the hang of it, it's not too difficult. And you can see I've got a bit of a gap there. What I'm going to do, I'm actually going to deliberately make a mistake. I'm going to sort of come down here and just skip this bit so I can come back and fix it later. So boom, curve. Now I'm going to hold down Alt so I can zoom out because this is a much longer curve. I'm also cutting in a little bit. I'm not too concerned about that. If you want to be 100% accurate, you can, but it's no big deal. Once again, big curve. I can move that around so I think, oh, yep, we're starting to sort of get the look we're after. Boom, boom. And you get the idea. Once you get the hang of how it works, it's pretty straightforward. So we're just going to sort of speed through the rest of this pretty quickly. If you cut into an object that doesn't matter too much, that's okay, because at least you're not going to get that sort of outline edge. If anything, when you're doing this stuff, try not to go just on the outside of an object, try to go just inside, because then when you place it against the background, you're not going to have this faint outline of the original background there. So we're just going to go through, curve, meet, space to drag, curve, curve, curve. You can see I've made a mistake there, so I'm actually going to hit Control Z to undo, go back. Now this might take a long time when you first start out. Like I said, just trying to get the hang of it could be a bit of a challenge, but that's all right. So it just takes a bit of practice. Up. Control Z again. And we're just about at the tip here, so I go here, and when I see that little circle, that means it's going to join and complete the path. Now, before I go any further, I'm going to zoom out. We'll see if there's anything. You can see we've got a spot here. I don't want to have the background in there. I want to remove that as well. So I'm going to zoom back in and just continue. And it'll actually create another path within that same path. Okay, so we've got our path done. Now, like I said here before, we've got an area here that we want to fix. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to edit that part of the curve. Now I'm going to head over to the left over here where our pen tool is. I'm going to hold down, click and hold down, and we get a few other options we can play with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click the Add Anchor Point tool. And because it's sort of bypassing a bit of information, I'm just going to click in, and then I can basically pick it up and drag it around. And I can even sort of grab these handles and move them around if I want to as well. So I can make little adjustments with that. And it's pretty handy because you've got a few tools to do a bit with this. Your freeform pen tool as you draw, allows you to draw a bit differently. You can delete anchor points, so we're clicking the delete anchor point tool. So if I want to get rid of this one, I can do that. Get rid of this one, I can do that and smooth that out. So you've got a few options there to do what you need. And of course, if you just have your normal pen tool selected, if you hover over something, you can delete. I'm going to undo that because I want to keep that one. And yeah, you've got some basic edits that you can do. But generally speaking, trying to get the curve right while you're drawing it is best. And then what we're going to do is actually going to refine this in our quick mask. So the way that works, I'm going to just click my little magnifying glass, hold down Alt and zoom out. You can see that our path is nicely selected around the man. Although we have actually accidentally moved these points here somehow, which during that process. So I'm going to actually just select those points and move them back. So I was going to select those points and just sort of use my arrow tools to move them back into position. All right, so I'll hold down Alt, zoom back out, and our path is nicely sitting on our guy here. So what I'm going to do, there should be a tab here called Paths. If not, head to Windows, I should say, go to Paths. I'm going to Control and click on that path. If you don't want to do that, you can actually right-click, should I say, click and make selection. So you can click on the path, click on your little icon at the top right there and click make selection. But I just control click on that path to make my selection. I head back to my layers palette and now I can go to quick mask either by hitting Q on my keyboard or hitting this button over here. And you can see this red background there. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn on, don't worry about that. Now I'm going to zoom in and we're going to adjust some of this hair. You can see some of it is not quite that smooth. And what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to grab this smudge tool. I'm going to come down and choose, I've already got a hairbrush selected. Now, whenever I've installed Photoshop, sometimes I get the hairbrush, sometimes I don't. If you don't have this, I will pop a link below to where you can get some free hairbrushes. But the idea is I'm going to get this, I'm going to make it a bit smaller. You can see it's not too big. I'm going to sort of smudge that hair back and forth a little bit just to get a bit of a hair effect. Now, if I hit the little, hit that little wavy button just next to my one, I don't know what it's called, next to the one on the left, I can see it in black and white. So you can see the kind of effect that we're having. It's not perfect, but for what we're doing, it should be fine. Let's hit that button again, and I can sort of curve that out. And especially on short hair, it's good because you can just get a nice short little cut in on the hair. Once again, I check that curvy button just to the left of my one. And I tend to go in a bit more than go out, just to get that effect. So that's a good way to touch up short hair. But let's say we're happy with that. This is just the basics. So what we've done is we've got our path tool, we've selected the guy, we've cut out as well by just continuing with that path tool, gone to the paths, control clicked, and then we've gone to our quick mask and made our adjustments. When we're done, I'm going to hit the quick mask button again, or hit Q again to exit. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to copy this layer so I have it as backup. I'm going to turn off the original. The reason I do that is because sometimes you make mistakes, you go back and get some information. So I've got two layers here. This one is now turned off. I hit the I button to the left to turn it off. I've got the top one clicked. I go to select, inverse, or Shift Control I, depending on if you're using a PC, and I hit delete on my keyboard. Now for some reason that hasn't worked. There we go, delete. So sometimes when I'm recording, certain buttons in Photoshop don't work, but it's just part of the fun, I guess. So now I've got my guy here, he's all cut out, ready to go. I'm happy with that. I can see that the hair doesn't look too bad. Some of this is a little bit not too great. Even after I've cut him out, I can still get my smudge tool, but it means I'm going to be smudging the actual information on the hair itself and not just the cutout, but that's all right. It sort of gives the desired effect. So I'm going to zoom out. So we've got our guy, he's all cut out. Now let's say that's you. Let's say you're going to save that image for your website. What you want to do is you want to crop it. So maybe if you're having a profile photo, you might just have a nice square crop like this, or you might want the whole picture. But for now, I'm going to crop him as a whole. I'm going to select him. So using my second from the top, if you haven't got that there, you'll have to hold it down and select the rectangular marquee tool, draw a box around the person, and then go to image and crop. And now you'll see that the image is cropped and we can save it. So if I want to save this for my website as a PNG, I'm going to go to File. I'm going to go, to Export. And I'm going to go Save for Web. We get a nice little window like this. Now this picture is actually pretty big. But I'm just going to, first, before we do anything, I'm going to go up top here to JPEG, change that to PNG. So you can see we've got our transparent checkers there. We can see our guy, but this picture is a bit huge for our website. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to highlight this and I'm going to make it say 500. So now we've got a smaller image, about 500 pixels wide. If you understand your sort of your widths and your heights with pixels, it'll be easy for you to determine that. Otherwise, you may need to just insert it and see how you go. But yeah, he's basically cut out and ready to save. So once I've done that, I've got my PNG, I've got transparency. It's about 270 kilobytes, which is pretty big for the internet, but you can make further adjustments. You can make it smaller. But transparent images in general are generally a bit bigger because of the fact that they're basically, well, they hold more information. So we're good to go. I save that, save my PNG, and I'm good to go. But now I want to add him to the background I was looking at earlier. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to hit Control A to select my entire page, or I can simply go to Edit, and I believe it's Select All. I tend to rely a lot on my keyboard shortcuts here. So the other thing you can do is simply get your marquee tool and just draw over the top. You can get Edit and Copy. And we're going to just Control Tab over to our other image. If you don't have that image, head to Open and open up a new image. And we've got our image here. Now I'm going to hold down Alt to zoom out. And I'm going to go to Paste that image. Now you see here we've got our layer. We've got layer 1, which is the guy we just cut out, and the background, which is our background image. So I can take layer 1 and go to Edit, Free Transform, and I can move him around. I can add him on here, nice and central if I want to, make him bigger, or smaller, and just sort of pop him in the scene if I want to. He doesn't quite blend in with the scene because he himself is a little bit darker than the scene is, so you might have to make some light adjustments, but you sort of get the idea. He's now in there. His hair sort of blends in, not too bad because of what we've done. There's a few areas here that aren't perfect. You don't have to worry too much about those, but if you are a perfectionist, you can simply get your eraser tool out. So this little tool here for the eraser, and you can just touch it up a little bit. Oops, Control Z if you get a little bit gung-ho. Now another trick you can do is if I click here and hold Shift, it'll create a straight line. So if I actually was to click here and then hold Shift and click over there, I get this straight line. So you can do that to sort of shave around these edges a little bit with your eraser. And this gives you a nice soft edge if you choose to take the hardness of the edge down a bit, especially around where the hair is. And you can adjust things that way. So now our guy's in the scene. If I wanted him to fit a bit better, I would actually go to the background and make some adjustments. Like go to my curves maybe, have a play. Not really the point we need to play with in this video, but just a thought that sometimes you will need to adjust images so they blend in together. But that's our image. Our guy is in the scene, walking down the road, and he actually came from a completely different background altogether. So that's basically how you cut out an image in Photoshop. I hope you find that relatively easy to follow. That's only one way. There are multiple ways of doing this, but I prefer to do it that way because I like to have control over the edge. Sometimes when you use some of these other brushes and the other methods, you don't get as crisp an edge, so I do like it for that reason. You get a nice crisp edge. The fact that we're using that tool also means we get better curves. So it's probably the way I cut out most of my images, and probably the most effective way to cut out most types of images with little touch-ups in areas like the hair. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, please give it a like. Also, if you want more videos like this in Photoshop, please subscribe to my channel. And if you've got any questions about anything else you'd like to see me see a tutorial for, please leave a comment below. Or if anything about this video confused you, please leave a comment, and we might. Obviously, I'm looking to improve these videos if there's anything wrong with them, and I'm looking at doing more advanced ways of cutting out people in the future. So yeah, any questions, let me know, and that way we can address it in a future video. Okay, so thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Have a good day.